Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast division previews. We're on to episode 2, the second dumpster fire that is the AFC South. But we're here to douse that fire and actually give a bit of hype and see if we can't give the fans something to look forward to at Danny Webb, AGSAU. What are your thoughts?
I think you've gone a bit harsh, a bit early here. I don't reckon this division is a dumpster fire. There's at least a couple of teams we can talk about and get really excited about, and the other teams, really juicy info.
It's like compellingly bad. But I reckon this division has the greatest variance, as in the teams within it, the range of possibly great seasons and possibly disastrous seasons. It's all there. This will be a roller coaster ride for the entire season in this division. So there's a lot of fun to be had.
At Charlie Pick, I did...
oh, sorry.
I was going to get... No, sorries. Those ranges can be each team as well. They could be disastrous or could be amazing, which we're about to find out.
Everyone goes to theme parks for the roller coasters. They don't go to look at the mascots, do they?
Well, that's pretty good mascots.
But yeah, there's a lot of juicy tidbits. There's a lot of stuff going on in this division. And a lot of potential for heartbreak. It's great.
We start with some additions both through the draft and, wow, the coaches seem to be a real big coaching division. What have they brought in at the Texans, mate?
Yeah, if you bring in a good coach, it can change. It can change you from being a first-round playoff exit team like the Texans were, or they could potentially get you to that next step, and that's probably what the Texans are looking to do. Everyone was saying that Stroud had a sophomore slump, even though they went 10-7, but... You know, they can always improve. And what they've done is just jack up their offense. They've got a new offensive coordinator in Nick Caley, who's the Rams tight end coach and pass coordinator, well, previously was. Drafted a rookie wide receiver in Jaden Higgins to replace Diggs, who'd left on a boat to go to New England. And they've...
we both know how boat photos and things like that go, so he's having a shit year.
Yeah, and they've improved their really leaky O-line, and we saw Stroud get hit last year. So the fact that they've improved that should mean they're just on the up.
Tank Dell, though, injured late in the last season. Whether or not he comes back strong, how long it takes for him to really hit his straps. Is it enough to say that O-line was the biggest problem with CJ Stroud? Or is there a question about whether or not, after his rookie year, people kind of were onto him a bit more?
Yeah, it definitely could have been. But hopefully with the improvement of, the wide receivers, and then you got Dalton Schultz still there, he's got his get out of jail free card, an improved O-line, longer time to find those targets. To me, he's only improving.
I agree. What about tight ends, mate, coming out of the Colts?
Well, one of the more interesting picks in the first round was Tyler Warren, who went to the Colts as tight end. I think it was pick 14. Not the highest picked tight end in the draft, but a lot of people thought the best tight end in the draft. And so that's someone they absolutely need while they figure out what's going on at quarterback. Someone big and tall to throw to. But he's very hot in fantasy leagues. He's very popular, probably number one pick in a lot of fantasy leagues. And he could be a massive difference maker for the Colts. And it's something they definitely need on that offense.
He was definitely more of a pass-catching type tight end when he was such a...
He can move, he can run routes, and
Penn State,
and he's quick. He is quick for his size. That man can move.
What about the Jags, mate? Have you ever heard of a player called Travis Hunter?
Everyone's probably heard of Travis Hunter at this point, and rightfully so. He's probably going to be the most exciting rookie to watch. Well, for me anyway, because he's lining up as wide receiver 1 and then second string cornerback, and he's gone out in the preseason game and actually played more snaps on defense, which is kind of interesting seeing his wide receiver 1, but maybe they're just trying to see what he can do. But their plan is, the Jags' eventual plan, obviously they're not going to start like this, but towards the end of the season, they want him to play at least 80% of every snap. 80% of the snaps of the game, even.
Yeah.
He's not going to walk off halfway through a snap, is he?
Which is just...
4/5. I'm done.
But that's that is a crazy workload for a rookie, right? Yes, he's a crazy talented individual. He's a freak show. This is a rarity that we probably haven't seen since the 20s. Just...
I didn't see it in the 20s.
No. But
Tim-Mac, you're old.
But one of the things that we know about rookies in their rookie year is they don't have a proper preseason because they're preparing for a combine, which isn't like preparing for a season. They haven't hit an NFL weight room and built themselves the way they need to. And they always fatigue towards the end of the season. It's very rare for a rookie to get through to the end of the season. They didn't slow down or they didn't have some flat games where their work rate wasn't high enough because of kind of exhaustion. So he's a rookie. He has all of that. And now he's going to play over 80% of all of the snaps. I think you run the risk of injuring your most valuable, precious piece of your team that you just drafted so highly.
Traded up to get as well. They traded up to get him. So, like, the last thing you want to be doing is injuring him. The last thing he wants is to be injured as well, because if you're playing both positions, are you fighting for 2 contracts?
Well, I'd like to be his agent. I would make that argument. Definitely make the argument that you do separate contracts for offense and defense. Absolutely reasonable.
It very much stinks of stress fractures and things like that coming out of the back of that first season, especially, like you said. They go 2 years pretty much no break. So it's just foot to the floor for that entire time. He is a freak, but surely they're not. Like, are they going to do it, you reckon? Like, 80% is so many snaps.
If he is doing that...
Because you're not getting any rest then between, if he has 2 or 3 in at wide receiver, you just stay on the field? Just turn around?
Yeah, I reckon that you'll be coming on for third downs probably for defense. So, at least giving those first 2 downs off and actually catch his breath. But if he starts doing more than that, and dominating as well, an argument will be he could be the first rookie offensive player of the year and rookie defensive player of the year, which would be huge. I think it's such an exciting thing for the NFL to have right now as a player playing on both sides of the field.
Imagine, obviously special teams is out of it unless he starts running around there as well. Imagine 100% of the game he's on the field.
Is anyone fit enough to do it?
Nah, surely not. You couldn't.
Well, no,
Awesome.
you might be able to do it for a game, but you're not doing it for 80% of the snaps of the season.
No, that's huge. And the number 1 pick, who was just ahead of Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, down to the Titans. Charles, you're all over him.
I mean, what an exciting year Cam Ward has ahead of himself, in charge of a red-hot Titans team ready to compete. Great, huge talent, but it's that tale as old as time. An amazing, talented young player who is stepping into God knows what at the Titans. No one knows what that offense is going to be like. It is a basket case. There's a reason why they were picking him so high in the draft, but the signs, all the talk out of the Titans so far is that he is good. He hasn't disappointed, that he is as talented as everyone thought. A lot of talk that he's a better, first round pick than Caleb Williams was for the Bears previously. So it's promising, but who's he throwing to? What's he working with? Who's protecting him? It's tough. It's going to be a tough year for Cam Ward there, but by all accounts, all the draft intel was correct.
It's not that the Titans really have that huge free agency draw card. It's hey, let's come play for the team that just got the number 1 pick. Let's let him settle in for a couple of years. Then maybe, if he comes out and absolutely performs and proves us all wrong, then you might get a few free agency signings of oh yeah, we can help the Titans get back.
Especially if he's got a rocket arm, starts throwing that around. There's going to be some wide receivers that go, I wouldn't mind catching that.
Yeah, and he's also not putting mayo in his coffee, which is always a win.
He's got to have some kind of tick.
That's a low bar to clear as far as being an acceptable quarterback prospect at the Titans. Yeah.
An eat banana with skins on and stuff. Some players to watch in this division. My first one that I want to kind of put out there is a very interesting New York-based QB that has made the move. Daniel Jones. Could he be the next Sam Darnold?
And by that, you mean getting out of New York and actually playing well.
Yes, 100%.
There would be a chance. There definitely would be a chance if the Colts actually went out and did something about their O-line, which they didn't. They had a terrible O-line last year and didn't pick anyone up in free agency and then only drafted one in the 4th round. So they're not giving that QB any help. And we saw AR get absolutely destroyed all of last season and now in preseason as well.
Yeah, he nearly genuinely died when I watched this on our DAZN that you can hit us up for and get a part of it, especially for these preseason games. But I've never seen an edge rusher so open and just absolutely not in in the new age where we protect our quarterbacks. And I'm pretty sure he ended up on the injury report because of the hit. So,
Yes.
a severe hand injury, which I don't know.
Severe
which
hand injury that, checking the footage and also what was said by the Colts afterwards, was actually a broken pinky. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but if it's your throwing hand,
The fact that it's severe makes me think it is his
severe. It was at a right angle. It looked pretty fun. But if it's his throwing hand, that is actually pretty problematic. You can't grip it and rip it if you can't grip it. You know, I've always said that. You know, that's what everyone says in football. But that's the other question there. Like, I think Daniel Jones has the potential to actually find a home and play well, and the Colts could be the kind of program where he thrives. But you've also got the Richardson question of what is he? What's he going to do? He just hasn't had enough reps or played enough games for us to have any idea if he is good at football or not.
Or enough snaps because he keeps tapping out.
That's that's it. Has he got the ticker for it? You know, what was the situation last season when he tapped out and said, "I'm tired"? Was it? It was like a fourth down.
It was either 3rd and short or 4th and short, and they were going for it. And looked over as, "I'm tired. I'm tapping out," which lost me straight away.
Yeah, which is a terrible sign in and of itself. And then in talking to the press afterwards, when they were giving him softball questions to give him every chance to say, "Oh, I've fixed my attitude. I've turned it around. I'm here for the team. That's on me." He was like, "Well, yeah, I'm going to watch tape and show up early if that's what the vets want." And it's like, don't do it because the men in the locker room told you off. Do it because you want to win. Do it because you want to be a proper quarterback in this league. So the jury's out. There is some word from the Colts saying that his attitude has been much better this year and his preseason has been solid. Can he stay healthy? Can he not run headfirst into calamitous situations and get concussed all the time? Remains to be seen.
Though, than him tapping out.
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere in the middle.
Concussion with these days, concussion's very serious. But I feel better that going, you know what, my QB can't play because he's having a crack.
Yeah, remains to be seen if Richardson is that QB. We'll see.
So you both going with Daniel Jones as the bloke that you want to be your QB1. Daniel Jones, who robbed all of New York of that giant
He
bag.
robbed them blind, but he robbed them blind because he played a good season. He got the Giants to the playoffs. Was it like Daboll's first season as coach?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And he got them to the playoffs. Damn right he got the bag. Like, that's a good season. He's got it. Like, he can throw the ball. He can do it. Maybe this is a situation where he throws. You would absolutely start him over Richardson at this stage because you don't know what you have with Richardson.
Well, and Richardson's injured.
Another good reason not to start him. Two good reasons.
He can't grip it and rip it. I'm just quietly, a little bit of a Daniel Jones believer at the moment, so we'll see. I've seen nothing to give me that belief.
I'm absolutely bookmarking that and bringing that back.
Another, more of a room of players, or we just talked about the QB room. We're going to the running back room, but of the Texans. Listen to some of these names that they've either brought in over the years or retained. Mixon, Chubb, and Pierce. Now, Pierce was their number 1 running back when they were elite 2 years ago. Now he's the number 3. That room is fire.
Yeah, well, anytime you bring in Mixon, you're going to drop down. You're going to drop down a running back, aren't you? And then the real question is around Chubb. Like, he's coming back from an injury, coming back from a knee injury. Will he still be the same Chubb of old?
Well, he did come back. He did play a couple of games and had his trademark, 50, 60-yard runs down the field. So I have to believe, I don't know why they got rid of him. Could very much be money because it's the Browns. So I'm still thinking
he's paid far worse players.
Yeah,
but no,
I don't think they've got the money to pay.
That's right. I think that is the question: is was there a reason beyond money that the Browns let Chubb go, and can he be the threat that he used to be? If he can, that's a problematic room, and I think that's also one of the stories around the league this season. Some teams have a star running back, an absolute game wrecker of a running back, but it's going to be about the teams that have a room that complements, the running backs complement each other in style, capability, what they can do. Do you have a good pass catching running back in there as well? Do you have a slasher? Do you have like a real bowling ball that can just get you 2 yards no matter what when you need it? It's going to be a balanced running back room that around the league is going to be important this season. And the Texans potentially do have that if Chubb can be Chubb.
Well, Chubb being the bowling ball that he is.
That's exactly right.
he fits that
But
ball
he might
perfectly.
have to play, not 80% of the snaps. Might have to be 30% of the snaps, and then, then that health might not be as big of an issue.
That's right.
When you got a room like that, you can play less snaps, and that's the benefit because it will stop him potentially picking up another knee injury.
Yeah.
And
That's
just
right.
play as little as possible, but dominate when you're out there.
Yeah, 100%. All right. We haven't had nearly as much hot takes in this episode compared to episode 1. Danny boy, what's your hot take for this division, mate?
My hot take, and I've been big on it this whole time, is that the Jags are actually going to swap their win-loss record. Or at least get close enough to, because they were 3-14, them going 4-13 is a very hot take. That's probably on the spiciest
That's
level.
a spicy
That's
one.
yeah.
That's a spicy
But
take.
I'm going to say they're going to have a definite winning record. So that could be 10, 11,
Don't
12
walk it
wins.
back. No, don't walk it back.
They're going to win
flipping their
14
record. That's your take. That's
they're
good.
They're going to have 14 wins. They've picked up a new head coach in Liam Cohen who came from the Bucks. He was the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator that actually kind of turned Baker Mayfield around and turned him into the player that we do know and love now. Like, kind of nursed him back into being that. And we've seen Trevor Lawrence, he had a pretty rough season last year, a couple of injuries in there. We've seen Trevor Lawrence be that roller coaster of a QB where he has a down year, then has a big up year, then he has a down year. Last year was his down year. New head coach, who's an offensive-minded coach, he's going to have a skyrocket of a year. Throw Travis Hunter in there, plus he's got a few other weapons to throw to. I'm a big fan on the Jags this year, and yeah, that's it. Mark it. 14-3.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Flipping their
That's
record.
a spicy take.
That's the question, though. It's Trevor Lawrence's consistency. That's his comeback against the Chargers in the playoffs shows he has the metal under pressure to do it. He has got a beautiful arm on him when he's hitting targets. He can move. He's got everything he needs. Can he, brick by brick, game by game, put together a whole season and then season after season showing what he's capable of? And maybe you're right. Maybe the change at OC is exactly what he needs.
What's your spicy? Do you have a spicy or just a hot take?
My hot take is, for all that we may have said about their running back room and the hype, I reckon the Texans are their playoff bubble. So I don't think they take the division, but I also think they're a chance of missing out on the wild card.
Ooh. Now that is hot.
Missing the playoffs, isn't it?
Missing the playoffs.
So, in saying that, are you saying that CJ Stroud and all their offense is actually going to dip further? So they're going to be less than a 10-7 winning side?
I think they could be exactly a 10-7 winning side and still
miss. Now we're hot. Now we're real hot.
That's hot for the rest.
But that's but that's I just think there's a chance that last year wasn't necessarily an anomaly. And I know 10-7 like that's a pretty positive year, but there were cracks there were problems, there were issues. There's a reason why the talk about Stroud was very different last year to the year before.
Just thinking off the top of my head, I reckon 10-7 as a second, you wouldn't, mate. I reckon the Packers were more.
Yeah, the NFC North last year was like an anomaly.
But
though.
we were the 7th seed.
Yeah. And
I
you were
reckon we
third
were-
in your division, which is wild. Like that doesn't normally happen.
That's what I'm just saying. 10-7 and missing is very plausible.
It's possible. It's beyond possible. It can
As long as you don't win
happen.
the division.
That's right.
Well, the Jags are winning the division, 14-3, baby.
Well, my hot take is directly against yours, and I'm saying that running back room and the wide receivers and Dalton Schultz are going to come out and they're going to prove to be the team that they were year one of CJ Stroud and push up and fighting for that number one spot.
Wow.
Not the 7 and on the bubble. They're going to be pushing up to that number one, which is probably closer to a 14-win team. So if we've got two 14-win teams, it could be the NFC North of last year.
Very well could be. And we'll get on to the NFC North because I've got wild hot takes on that one. But first, we'll stick with this division. We'll stick with this one.
We'll go straight to the unders, overs for this division. They're playing both the Wests, NFC and AFC West, so they've got some tough matchups in there. Danny boy, this is your little puppet.
Yes, we'll start with the Titans. Their over-under is sitting at 5.5 and paying $1.75. So the bookies reckon Unibet is actually reckoning that we are...
Our good friends at Unibet.
I think, and they're going to go over. So they're looking at a 6-win season for the Titans. So them having that number one pick come into the Titans is obviously going to bump them up a little bit, but that's 3 more wins than what they got last year.
Yeah, I'm going under on that.
Same.
I think they're a long way. They have such a long way to go, and I'm not convinced that they've got the horses on the paddock to do better than 5.
I love that they've got a bigger unders overs than the Saints, but I'm the same. Besides Cam Ward, like I'm pretty sure their running backs, was it Spears? I think he went down in the first, so they're losing players more than they're getting them. So Cam Ward's going to be the man. I think we saw that coming out of Miami, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to suggest though that the Saints are far more motivated for coming last than the Titans. The Titans already had their first round pick, got their new quarterback. Let's let the Saints. They're playing aggressively for that opportunity.
They'll take the second pick.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to swerve on both of you and just go the overs just to be different.
Right.
But then we're moving straight on to the Jags. Their over-under is sitting at 7.5. Paying $1.82.
What are you going to say, mate?
Well, we already know I'm well and truly over. I might almost guess exact wins and chuck some money at 14 wins.
That'll be huge. I don't know what they're paying, but that'll be
It'll
huge.
be a lot.
It'll be a lot.
yeah, it's got to be over. Absolutely, but that's just in line with what I've said. I'm more of a Jags believer. Yeah.
I do think they'll go well, but I'll say unders. just
just gotta. So now we're moving on to the QB room question mark that is the Colts, and their over under is actually sitting at 7.5, but for them to go over is a less favourable one at $2.
Yeah, no, that's unders.
Are we safe to say all three of us are going unders?
I don't
on
think
that
we
one?
Yeah, but you know what? I just had this little scenario in my head of like what I think is the most entertaining scenario, and it's Daniel Jones starts pretty much for the whole season, and they're an 8-win team.
Ooh. Nearly 50%.
And that to me is like such a beautiful conundrum for the Colts at that point of like, do we have a quarterback or do we not have a
if
quarterback?
he gets 8 wins, sorry, you are gone.
Oh, Richardson will be gone, but like is that the resurrection of Daniel Jones, or is it exactly in that grey area of not knowing if he's really a starting quarterback or not?
Did we start this episode of you saying that
I
Daniel
did. I
Jones...
said Danny Jones. I'm a fan. I didn't have any reason to be a fan.
You said he was going to turn it around. You said he was the
That went
second
unders.
coming of Sam Darnold. And now you've gone unders.
Fuck it, unders. $2. $2 next Tuesday.
God, we're going to move on
We're
from
going to make
this.
some cash on this division.
Crazy.
Moving on to the Texans, probably the most controversial one, especially in this room. The over-under is sitting at 9.5, and they're paying $2 to go over. So they're saying, Unibet's saying that they're potentially going to have a worse season than last season.
I reckon we saw that 10-7 and thought that was a bit of a down year, so I'm definitely an overs.
I can go like I
That's your
predicted it.
plan,
I'm going overs, and they still miss the playoffs. So there you go.
Which is a little double whammy. I reckon that we will go over. I think that we're definitely going to improve. Like, they brought in so much on offense that they could, like, surely they can get better than 10-7.
Yeah. All right, that was a lot. We've given them a lot, the fans, a lot to think about with this division. It was probably a lot more spicy than what we predicted. Not saying that this was a bad episode. AFC North is up next.
No, that's a spicy
That's
meatball.
that's a spicy episode. Make sure you are here next week to see that one.
Well, you said this episode was going to be an absolute dumpster fire. Does it mean the fire's getting hotter as we move up to the AFC North? The fire's getting bigger.
Absolutely.
Go Bills.
Nice.